Good morning, my friends. It's a beautiful day out here in Nebraska, 35 degrees, and we're doing something a little bit different today. We are going on a cattle drive with the neighbor, helping the neighbor out. They're bringing the cows up here to the road. They'll all be waiting here for the rest of them, and then I'm on point going down the road. We're going to go about 6 miles down the main road here, our main gravel road, to another pasture, and I'll be out in front warning traffic, staying up around the corner so we don't get cars come flying in on the herd here. And then the neighbor's wife is there with the stock trailer. In case any of these animals get unruly, we can put them in the trailer. They'll rope them and put them into the trailer and haul them there. But these are the ones that are in the lead. A lot of these cows have made this trip before, so they kind of know where they're going, and they know they're going to new pasture, so they're eager to get there. They're not that hard to move, really. But they're going to get them bunched up here, and then we'll open the gate and head down this road. Here they come. That clicking noise you hear as the flashers are on. Let people know there's something up. But on the road again, literally. We're going to be making a right turn here. See the cows right up behind me here. Sometimes they'll follow my vehicle around, but you can see my neighbor there. He's up on their left flank, making sure that they make the corner. Brandy's with us today. Come on, Brandy. She likes looking at the cows. Cows are doing good. They come right around the corner. This road we're on now is a lot less traveled. That road we just came off of is a pretty busy road, a lot of truck traffic. But we're on a lot narrower, kind of barely over a one-lane road. We're going to go west on for a while, and then we're going to make another left-hand turn, and these cows are going down by a pasture on the river. We helped move these cattle up last year up to the pastures up north. We were actually driving the stock trailer last year. The nice thing about cows being herd animals is once you get a few going in the direction you need them to go, the other ones just kind of follow along. They pretty much figure out that's where they need to go. Well, today is not a good day to be a horseback. It's currently only 35 degrees, and it's up from minus degrees overnight. It's almost noon, but we got about a 15-mile-an-hour breeze, and that makes it really cold when it's cold. And riding horses is kind of like driving a tractor in the cold. You're not moving around much, so you're not generating a lot of heat with your body movement. And you've never been cold unless you've been driving a tractor or riding a horse in cold weather. It gets bone-chilling cold. And these guys, just to get to where they got up onto the road, have already driven these cows probably 1.5 to 2 miles. before they even got to where they came onto the road. So they're probably pretty cold, but ain't no tougher person than a cowboy in the winter, let me tell you. Big old long line of cows. A couple of them are wanting to pass me. We're using quite a few people to move this little bunch of cows. You got, well, the two of us in vehicles and then 3 cowboys driving. And that's pretty good help for moving this size of herd. But if you got a smaller herd and there's not very many of you, I've seen people before, they'll throw a bunch of hay on the back of their truck and the cows will follow that hay to the end of the earth. And you just drive slow and let them cows follow right behind you, maybe give them a little bite every now and then of that hay. And they'll keep following you. You don't have to go too terrible far. And most of the time they don't get into too much trouble. But I've seen it done like that, and if you don't have a lot of people. Some of your modern day cowboys, instead of riding horses, they ride quads or 4-wheelers. And it works okay, but when you're out with uneven terrain in like the Nebraska hills out here, you got a lot of dips and gullies and stuff, and the horses are just a lot better suited for that environment. Like here, sometimes the cows will wander down in the ditch, and you're not going to get a quad down in that ditch very easy, but a horse will jump right off down in there. I helped drive some cattle one time, some moms with their calves. We were changing pastures out in California, and those moms get a little testy when they got their calves, and one of the mamas was not liking that quad I was riding on and making all the noise, and she was starting to fear for her calf safety, I guess, and she come up and headbutted the quad that I was on and almost flipped me over backwards. She hit that machine so hard and damn near knocked me off of it. You like watching them cows, Brandy? Now, I grew up on a dairy, and my dad, when the cows would have calves, he would eventually get out there and go retrieve the calf out of the pen, the calving pen that they used to have all their calves, and they would feed their calves in a feed like a calf barn, so you could protect it more from the predators and stuff like that, and you can keep closer eye on your calves to see if they're having issues, having the scours, whether they're eating or not, and drinking and all that. It's much easier to raise calves that way on a dairy rather than just have them out running around with their mamas out in the middle of a field. So I would see Dad go out and get those calves. So I saw a calf out in the pen one day, and Dad was probably off doing something else on the dairy, and I was probably 6, 7 years old. I'm like, well, I'm going to go out and get that calf and bring it over to the calf barn. And I walked out there to go round that calf up and tie a little rope around its neck and pull it into the calf barn. Well, Mama did not like the idea of me doing that. And I was a smaller stature, of course, being like 6 years old. Dad could go out there being a full-size grown man and not have a lot of problems. But me being so small, Mama came running along and just mowed me over, laid me flat out in that little pen, and I didn't know what hit me. Luckily, she didn't continue to like grind me into the ground, because she could have killed me at that age pretty damn easy. But she headbutted me good and knocked me over, ran right through me, and that was the last time I ever messed with a cow with a calf. Learned my lesson real quick. Are they still coming, Brandy? Yeah? Another mishap I had on dairy one time, the milking barn had a little lane that the cows came out of when they were done being milked, and had a concrete wall on one side and a pipe rail fence on the other side to leave the barn. And there was these little areas, little slots in the fence that a person could walk through, but the cows couldn't get through. Well, I was coming in from the outside, and the slots in the fence where you walk through weren't exactly lined up. You had to go in, walk up the lane a little bit, and then go through the next one to get inside the holding pen in the barn. Well, I hopped in the barn and was walking up that lane to get into the holding pen, and there was a cow coming out of the barn. And usually they'll just kind of stop when they see you coming and see what you're going to do. And she wasn't quite to that other slot in the fence yet, so I was walking up there. Well, cows, being as unpredictable as they can be, she got a little excited and she bolted past me. And the cows almost touched both sides of that fence. I don't know if we're that lane. Maybe I told you that. But I was caught between that cow and the pipe side of that fence, and she rolled me along that fence. It felt like she was breaking every bone in my body, rolling me on that fence. But luckily I came through it without any broken bones, but man, that hurt. Anybody that's been around cows long enough is going to have a run-in with them. My dad was around cows all his life. He'd been kicked, knocked over, and all crazy. I remember Dad taking cows out of the bullpen after the cow was bred. And those big Holstein bulls are mean. They'll growl at you like a bear. And he would have to take a metal T-post with him and bonk that bull on the nose to get him to back up. So we're up on a corner, so I need to get up ahead on the corner a little bit, leave the herd, in case somebody comes flying around this corner. We get cattle trucks sometimes coming around these corners, going way too fast, so we get up here and alert people. We got cows coming up on the road, slow them down. And then we got that hill up there. Is a real tall, steep hill, and it goes over really fast down the other side, kind of like a roller coaster. So I'll have to be up on top of that hill when we get up close to that. Up the hill. This hill's dangerous when you're going to and from town. You got to make sure you're over on the right hand side, because people come flying over this thing and they're not always paying attention to what side of the road they're on. I took off and left them, and the cows in front stopped. They'll get going again. That looks like they're moving again. Ooh, it's cold out here in the wind. We're about halfway on our journey. The cows are doing really well. Still moving right along. Now, the neighbor we're helping move cows is kind of a famous type guy. His name's R.P. Smith. He's a famous cowboy poet. And if you look him up on Google his name, R.P. Smith, you can probably find some of his work. We went to a show that he did here local, about an hour away. Really funny guy and a really talented cowboy poet. We've slowed down a little bit. I want to try to keep the cows right on my bumper. Kind of bunch them up a little bit more so it's not such a long string. And then once we get up here to the corner, with me being close to them like this, they'll kind of get used to following me. And when I make the corner, most likely they will turn with me. Brandy loves looking at them out the window. cows on camera. What I like about my new truck is I can select the camera and leave it on even though I'm not in reverse. My other truck, you had to be in reverse or it would just turn itself off. Now if you ever come up on a herd going down the road like this, or a cattle drive as they call it, don't fret. Just pull off to one side of the road. You don't have to get up, clear off in the shoulder and get stuck. But pull off to one side, turn your motor off, and the cows will just walk right around you, and you won't have any issues. Now you probably want to roll your window up because cows are very, very inquisitive, and you might get a cow head in your window. But other than that, they'll walk right on around you with no issues. Now if you're coming up from the rear, one of the cowboys will usually escort you through the herd. They'll kind of run blocker in front of you, move the cows out of the way, and you can drive right on through, and they'll get you through it. I love these old windmills. They're still used quite extensively out here. Pump the water for the cow troughs. Wind power, the original green energy. Way back in the day, the early pioneers didn't have running water in their houses. You had to carry it in a bucket from the creek or the river or whatever. But once the windmills were developed, if you lived in a hilly area, you could put your windmill up on the hill at a higher grade than where your house was and have a holding tank. And because the water tank was above the level of your house, the water would gravity feed down into your house. And that's how everybody back in the day got running water into the house. Now out where I lived in California, where everything was flat, you had what was called a tank house that was right next to the main house, and it was 2 stories, and the big tank would be on the 2nd floor of the tank house, which would allow again for the gravity to feed the running water in the house. Now you'll notice those old houses that had the tank house didn't have any plumbing upstairs. There's no bathroom upstairs, no running water upstairs, because the water wouldn't run upstairs. And that's why your old houses don't have the bathroom upstairs most of the time unless they've been added later. Kelly actually drives this little barely 1-lane gravel road every day to work. It's kind of a cutoff over to the highway that she needs to take. She drives about 30 minutes to work. Got these wild plum trees, or sandhill plums, all over Nebraska, right alongside of the road. And when they're ripe, you can come pick them. You can make some sandhill plum jelly or jam like we did. They're about the size of a cherry, and they turn kind of a yellowish orange when they're ripe. And you got to get them before the birds get them. And the coyotes will get the low ones. But we're going to try to get some choke cherries this year. We missed choke cherry season last year because I want to make some choke cherry jam. So we're going to have to watch when that gets ripe. I'll have to have somebody let me know where some are at. But if you missed our sandhill plum jam, I'll attach that recipe up here in the corner at the end of this video. It's really good stuff. We got to take this left-hand corner here at our crossroads. So I want to get these cows like right on my bumper, so they kind of follow me around the corner, because we don't have a cowboy up here to get them to turn, but I'm pretty sure they'll follow. Get them right up on me. I don't think we have a hill here where we're going to get in trouble. Looks like there's plenty of sight distance around this corner, so shouldn't have a problem. But we'll get them right up on me. We're going to go down this road and cross the river bridge. And right on the other side of the river, we're going to turn them into another pasture. Come on, girls. Keep it coming. Come on. Turn the corner, girls. Come on. Follow me. Come on, girls. Good job. Brandy, I wasn't calling you. Come on. Brandy, get in the back. Here they come. Good job, girls. Now we are back on more of a main road. This is a kind of a main thoroughfare here by the river, so hopefully everybody's careful and we'll keep an eye out. We can see pretty far ahead, so I don't think we'll have any problem with oncoming traffic. But that little corner and hill behind me, hopefully people are being careful. I think they'll be able to see. We didn't lose one cow on that corner. They're all coming around. Pretty well-trained cows. Probably kind of like going out to dinner. They know they're going to get some better grass. This number 426 cow right here in the front, she's been in the front the whole way. She's a good leader, leading everybody where they need to go. She's even nosed a couple other cows that kind of were getting off the path back onto the road. A couple cows like that, you wouldn't need anybody driving them. Got some more cows in this pasture up here on the right. Usually they'll all come to the fence and check out the goings on. Very curious animals. Here they all come. Hey, what's up? Where are you guys from? They stopped for a brief little visit there with them other cows, but old 426 got them right back on the road. She was kind of circling around saying, let's go. This isn't our spot. The other cows are following along the fence. Where are you guys going? I want to go. Brandy, get down. I've run ahead here. The herd's going to come across this bridge here on the river, and then they're going to go directly into this gate here out into this pasture. So we've stopped here on the road, and we're going to kind of block the road here and get them to turn in to that, and then my neighbor come out front. He's going to help steer them with the horse too. So they're coming running. They must know they're almost here. River's running pretty good right now. They're headed right down in. They got down in there and said, hey, wait a minute, that truck didn't come down here. So they kind of stalled out. But got them moving again. Good looking cattle. They've been eating real good. That's the last of them.
Hey, cattle. Hey, gal. Hey there.
All right, folks, that is a wrap. We got her all done. Very successful cattle drive. The cows were very well trained and very well mannered. They did really well. So I think we're going to head back home. We're going to go into town, and maybe I can talk Kelly into a bacon cheeseburger. But real good time. The neighbor, he had a couple of grandkids with him too. That was so neat to see the grandkids helping out on horseback and helping move the animals. It's hard to find help sometimes because everybody's busy this time of year, but we don't mind helping. Neighbors help neighbors here in Nebraska, and that's what we do. And we have a good time doing it. So, till next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you, and we'll leave you with this. Happy trails to you until we meet again.